Hello, beautiful people. I know it's been about a year since my last full episode. And I have been sharing some reels and some shorts, but it does feel good to be back. All right, so what have I been up to? Over the past almost a year, I have been really just reprioritizing my rest, focusing back on just finding my peace through the little things that make me happy. I really needed spring. So, spring being my birthday season, it was just the perfect time for me to kind of just get back up and also just to reprioritize where I want to focus my efforts. One of the things that I've been really grateful for over the last year is home and how it's been just so nourishing to my spirits, to my soul. And speaking of seasons, as some of you may know, if you follow me over on Instagram, I just celebrated my milestone birthday. Well, in April, I recently celebrated my milestone birthday. I'm feeling 35. Thank God for life. And with that milestone birthday, one thing my sister and I have also been working on over the last year is our coffee table book. This coffee table book was really just a moment for us to stop and reflect on the last 10 years of our online interior design business. And so the book is called Helping You Love Your Space, No Matter the Size, which is, just a perfect intro into what I want to talk about today. And so for this episode, I wanted to take an opportunity to give you a little peek into the book by doing a Q&A session on some of my favorite tips and tricks to maximize your space. How to make a small space feel larger, one of my favorite topics. I could talk about this one all day because I truly believe any space can be functional. So these are some of the things I do to make a small space feel larger. The first thing I do, like I mentioned earlier, is really use low profile furniture, not just because of the theme of our home, but low profile furniture allows your space to feel a lot taller than it truly is. So whether it be your coffee table, the chairs, the sofa that you choose, or even putting your media unit of your TVs either on the floor or mounted very low, it allows the room to feel a lot larger and a lot taller. I also like to hang window treatments really high so that the ceilings feel a lot higher than what they are. Keep in mind that vertical design elements always make a space feel taller. Horizontal makes a space feel wider. And if you can't go wide, go high and go deep. So like in my closet, and in Jeff's closet, for example, we made sure to use height. So we have a ladder literally so that we can access some of the things we don't use as much at the top, and then storing some things underneath our bed. So it could be wall shelving, mounting drawers underneath the bed, things like that. Really clearing out the floor space and making sure that it gives your space a little bit more airiness. So speaking of how to make a small space feel larger, the one thing you want to do in any size space actually is to make sure to keep a decluttered design at all times. And how do you do that? So one of the things I love to do is have multifunctional furniture, right? So choosing a sofa, in our case, that converts into a sleeper, is a way to be able to avoid having a big day bed, for example, in a space. An expandable dining table, that was one of my favorites from our old apartment, right? That we can have this four-seater convert into a six-seater. Another tip is to use smart storage maximizing solutions. So things like a coffee table that has storage in it. So you can put blankets, extra pillows, and things like that, or a basket that can store blankets and extra pillows. I also love a good bar cart, another underrated piece of furniture that's really good for storage. So what I love about bar carts is that you can use them in kitchens, dining areas. It allows you to have like extra counter space if you want to quickly put something there while you're in the kitchen. But also it's good for essentials for easy reach, right? Maybe you want to put your glassware there or trays for yourself or for guests, storing fruit or candy for yourself or guests. And I just love that it also enhances the aesthetic appeal of your space. So it's a bar cart, it's cute, it's movable, but it allows you to store things on it and kind of keep things off the floor, keep things away in a way that's stylish and is also functional. And lastly, two of the things I love to do to maximize space. One is a pocket door. I love a good pocket door whenever you can. We did it for our bedroom. By switching a swing-in door to a pocket door, you create so much space. So that space that the swing-in door would have taken, you literally have extra square footage in your space to be able to put something there. In our case, I built out an entire closet for myself just by switching that swing-in door into a pocket door. So that's one of my favorite ways to maximize the space. And you can use pocket doors in bathrooms. You can use it for closets. You can use it for virtually anywhere with the door. And I also like to maximize light in a space using mirrors by placing them across from natural light sources, just so it gives you that illusion of a wider space. So with creating separate living spaces, it's really important to use different design elements to zone the space, right? So if you have this open plan living area, for example, In this case, to separate our living area from our dining area, as you guys see behind me, I used acoustic wood panels. What I love about acoustic wood panels is that not only does this zone an area, right? By putting it behind the couch, this feels like the living room, and that separates the dining, that separates the kitchen. The benefit here is that wood panels make your space feel taller, right? Because they're vertical. It also has acoustic padding. So when we speak in the living room, like while I'm talking right now, the sound is insulated. So it's one of my favorite design elements to use because it looks beautiful, right? It's like artwork behind our couch, but also it allows for that sense of insulation in a space. Another design element that I love is statement wallpaper or statement wall paints. For example, in our space, we use the burnt orange terracotta wall paints on our door so that that area can feel like the entry and it isolates it from the rest of the open area. You can also use furniture to zone areas. So, like in a bedroom, I always like to use a rug underneath my bed, two side tables, or at least one side table, depending if your bed is pulled towards a wall or centered. Wall art, plants, things like that to be able to zone, okay, this is the sleeping area. You may want to then incorporate like a work from home area or a prep area in your bedroom. And so to do that, I always like to put a desk closer to natural light, so closer to the window. And in that area too as well, putting like a seat that can be multifunctional. Maybe it's a seat that you use for reading before you go to bed, or a seat that you use for prepping. That's how I always like to zone a work from home or lounge in a bedroom area. So these were just some of my favorite tips. There's a lot more in the book that you can discover, but let me know which one was your favorite. What can you use in your space right now? Tell me below. Also, when you do get your book, please tag me in a book selfie so that we can feature you on our page. We've just been loving to see how not only are you guys supporting us by buying the book, but also how you guys are using the tips and tricks in your spaces. It's been only what, a month plus since we launched our book, but it's already been so influential to our community, and we're just so thankful for our past clients and thank you for all of you who are discovering how this can be helpful to maximize and to love up on your space, no matter the size. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. See you soon. Bye.